Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All Things Middle-earth here with a part 2 to our bad reviews video. I did one of these videos pretty much right when the game came out because I was curious what the general consensus from those who had just started playing the game was, and we're sitting in back end for a little bit longer. So I thought, hey, what a great time to look back through the reviews, see what good, bad, and ugly things people are saying about this game, and maybe see if we have an answer to some of the things that are being said. And let me know in the comments if you agree with some of these things, don't agree, or what maybe your review would be if you were to leave one. So let's go ahead and jump into the bad reviews. Okay, the first one here, we're looking at the Apple Store starting out. I have a little bit less options in terms of what I can search here, so we're just kind of going with these in no particular order at all. This one starts out, it says board game style equals board gamer within 1 hour. Okay, so I gave it a good hour from 9 to 10 last night. Lore, art, design, music, all good for Lord of the Rings. But what is this game? I picked the Ringwraith faction, Angmar maybe. The game makes it feel clear that we are all amassing large armies to hunt the One Ring, just like the story. Fine. I find myself acquiring really cool orc troops. I have recruited 3 commanders that are cool. It's a land acquisition game though. It's like march here, acquire land for future war, use resources to build up home base, but where's the real combat? Oh, 1 hour in, I'm finally marching to a square where an actual physical army is. The battle I've been waiting for? Not really. You watch these cheesy animations play out in front of you, and as far as I can tell, you aren't doing anything to affect the outcome. It's all about developing an army that has balanced forces, but man, it was pretty boring when it came to me actually feeling like I'm at the helm of the fearsome orc Uruk-hai army that is trying to dominate the landscape. I like board games, but I play board games with dice and other tangibles that make the experience more enriching and random at times. This game is all about nice army, want that square of land, it's a level 10, go for it. Nice, you got the land. You want that next piece of land, it's a level 15 piece of land. Too hard, wait 30 minutes. This is kind of a funny review. I mean, this person is not wrong, you're describing how this game works, but this is probably my only gripe with reviews like this. And even like I've seen videos that have come out, and I think I talked about this on stream. One of the most popular reviews about this game is, or one of the most popular videos about this game is someone who is not really familiar with this like genre of game, you know, basically just saying, hey, it's Lord of the Rings, I'll check it out, and they hate it. And so while some of these things you're not wrong on, it is just this style of game. So it'd be the same thing if I were to go try and play a, I don't know, whatever type of first-person shooter game. I'm going to play the new Call of Duty, and I'm just like, yeah, I just wanted to fly to an island and talk to a raccoon and build a house and go around and make friends with my neighbors and dig up fossils and go fishing. And like this game, all I get to do is run around and battle people. I don't want to do that. So it seems like a little bit of an unfair review. Because again, yeah, like it's not like a live combat game. It's a you know, it's a war game. So my response to this would be, you're not wrong, but this is just this type of game. So I don't think it matters that it's Lord of the Rings. I think it's just not the game for you, which is totally okay. But it does make me laugh a little bit when people leave reviews. It's just, this is just the game you're describing. I get it. There are certain things I would like to be improved on that I wish there was more to do. But it is just the game that you're describing, and it's like from, you know, a lot of war games are like that. You don't send your troops in and then get to actually control them. It's not that type of game. So, anyways, solid review. I give it a 8 out of 10, and let's move on to the next one. Okay, next review starts out by saying good game, but, and then the review starts. It says, okay, I like the strategy in the game, but when I first started playing, I was a good guy faction, but they were brutal and toxic whenever I tried to help. They say, you're too weak, get stronger, you're a spy. Yeah, that's what they say when in the second season I went to Mordor, and they were nicer, less toxic. But the top warband leaders never listened to my ideas. When Gondor trapped us, I said, let's go to Rohan. They seem pretty weak, and another group are already attacking them, so let's help them. But they said, no, we don't want to start another war. And I said again, Gondor has us trapped, and they can do a full-out invasion on us. And they said, okay, still, let's not. At this point, I was face-palming myself. Then I left that group and joined a different one where they were smarter, but it was not really fun that much because they told me what to do, or else I pretty much get kicked from the group. and I could not war plan. Only they could at some times, so I just deleted the game. It was fun, but players are mean and strict in that game, and when you report someone, nothing happens to them. Maybe you should have a staff member or two in each faction, and they can check up on each warband to make sure players are being nice to each other and letting them join in and attack to make it all fair. I deleted the game. This is an interesting review, and it does sound like this player just had a bad experience, and I definitely get this, but at the same time, I feel like that's just also the reality. Not everybody in a war type game like this can be the leader and the one. If you had every person in a faction a part of war plans happening, decisions happening, it would be ridiculous. It would not work at all. Everyone would be upset all the time. So you do have, these groups of 100 people with fellowships or war bands, and you have a smaller leadership structure within that makes decisions. At least in my experience, those are the groups that are successful. Of course, you can pull members, you can put stuff out, you can communicate with them. You can say, hey, do you guys want to do this or this, and kind of get a general idea. But at the end of the day, you do have to have someone making a decision. And the reality is there are those types of players, like no disrespect, but there are those players that just cannot do without being in that decision-making space. And again, if that's who you are as a gamer, I would say, okay, well then make your own thing and do it, and like make your decisions, grow it, own it. If you know about the game, you know what you're doing, lead your own group, because it sounds like that's what you want to do. But if you're not able to do that, or you don't, you're not there yet, you have to be okay with taking a back seat and playing and doing that. So I think there can be fun had on both sides, but I definitely get that. So it's a very interesting. It's the sad thing is it's just like bad experience with players, or like what this person. It sounds like they enjoyed the game, but just were not able to get like in a good structure with the group they were playing with, so they deleted the game. So that is a bummer. But overall, I feel like there was nothing negative about the actual game. It was just like, this is my experience with players. I will say players can be toxic, and any like just there's a respectful way to engage with your members about ideas and things going on and have conversations with them. So if whatever toxicness was going on, definitely don't condone that at all. But there is that line, there are those players who just have a hard time sitting in like a member role, and I get it. But yeah, another interesting. And honestly, this review, 9 out of 10. I think this is a good one. I like this one. It's not too critical on the game, but it was interesting. All right, we're on the Google Play Store now, because I can actually sort by bad reviews. And these are, again, in no particular order. These will be more rapid fire because they're not as long as the other two we just read. But this first one, 1 star, says, this game just wasn't fun. Lots of waiting around to be told what to do by your faction, and then you get obliterated anyway. Yeah, if you're just a member and you're kind of waiting around and then you do lose, that sucks. I get it. Fair review. You're not wrong. This is another generic castle builder, which is so sad. Someone got the rights to make an officially licensed Lord of the Rings game for mobiles, and they made this. The single most unimaginative type of game in existence. Honestly, it's an insult to such an epic series. These are also the other type of comments that I kind of have a problem with, because it's just totally based on preference of what games you enjoy. I am new to this genre personally, and I'm enjoying it. But again, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as fair to just look at the genre and the type of game, because there are people that enjoy all kinds of games like this, and just happens to be Lord of the Rings. In fact, there's another one that was announced. I made a video on it yesterday. The Heroes of Middle-earth, which is going to be more of a hero collector, turn-based RPG mobile game. And it'll be the same things where it's like, oh my gosh, like we got another Lord of the Rings game and it's a hero collector. Like, I get it, but if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I don't think it has to be such a negative thing on Lord of the Rings or Tolkien. I think it's just some people are going to like it. Those people are going to play it. If you're not, you're not. It's okay. It doesn't have to be. I don't know. All right. Moving on. So my precious review got deleted by the developers. I'm not the only one to have this happen. They seem to delete as many 1-star reviews as they can. This game is simply a reskin of other almost identical pay-to-win city builder games. This game is unfaithful to the Lord of the Rings lore, and it's a disgrace. They got the license to use the name Avoid. Awful. Avoid. I don't know about deleting reviews. I hope they're not doing that. I honestly don't feel like developers should have the ability to do that. I'm not sure. But yes, there are many castle city builder games like this, war games, whatever you even call them. So again, if you're not a fan of those games, just because it's Lord of the Rings doesn't mean you're going to like it. Again, you could go back and forth all day and talk about, if it's just disgrace to the Lord of the Rings name. Yes, they are creative. Yes, they're it's like the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor games. So they've taken some artistic liberties And there's part of me that sees that side where it's like, no, like 100% literary works of Tolkien. That's it. Okay, maybe some Peter Jackson stuff, but again, at the end of the day, for me personally, I get to spend time in Middle Earth. That's kind of all that matters to me. But there is probably a line, and I think it just other people's lines are different, and they feel like this game has crossed that. So I get it, but at the same time, it is just the type of game. This comment, 10 out of 10, 1 star. It says this, The Shire. I honestly, this one really speaks to me. That's 10 out of 10. Yep, okay. And we'll finish up on this last one here. It says, not the game I clicked on in the advertisement. The ad showed a game where the players select teams of units to defend against upcoming waves of enemies. When I played it, this was absolutely nothing like that. It's a super technical Clash of Clans style game or something. I don't know. I don't play them. This is a fair review because, NetEase, are you listening? The ads for this mobile game are bad. And it's not just you guys. It seems like it's every mobile game developer. They, for some reason, just want to put out these ads that are not accurate to what this game is. I don't understand it, but people see the ads. They think, okay, this is what I'm expecting. They open it. They get something different. They may not be happy with it. So this is actually probably the most fair review. If you thought you were getting one thing and it's completely different, that's reasonable. So another 10 out of 10 review with this one, and I would definitely suggest let's get some like actual reviews out there so you can see what the game is like. It's a war game. You capture tiles, you gather resources, you build armies, you strategize, there's a whole lot of stuff. Like you could capture that in a short trailer, I feel like. But again, it is what it is. But there you have it. We went through, I don't know, 5, 7 different reviews, some better than others. Honestly, when I did this before, there were a lot more bad ones, but it's kind of the same stuff. The big ones, I'll have to go back and check mine. I'll link that one up in the top right. If I remember right, a lot of the ones that I did go through still had to do with that kind of just like, oh man, like this is Lord of the Rings, this is Tolkien, this is whatever. Like it can't be this kind of a game. It's a disgrace. So it just seems like it's very personal preference based on what people like, the high expectations they have for an IP like this. And I get it. I'm totally there. I like correct people on how to pronounce, names and stuff like that. So like I'm there with you guys, but at the same time, there's kind of a reality, and I'm just like, hey, I want more Lord of the Rings content. I want more Middle Earth content. This game is out, and I don't know like financially how it's doing, but I assume it's doing well enough. We have another Middle Earth game announced, and then the Gollum game coming out at the end of the year, and then the TV show. So as a Lord of the Rings, as a Middle Earth, as a Tolkien fan, to me, getting more of that stuff is good news. You just I'm trying to stay optimistic that it's going to be executed as well as possible, trying to keep the best foot forward, if you will. But again, those are some of the reviews for this game. Let me know what you think down below. If you think some of these are off base, if you're right there with them, or maybe what you would say in a review if you were to leave a message for other players to see. Although I feel like people don't read reviews that much. It's only people that are upset and leaving them. I don't know how many people really look through reviews before they play a game and are like, oh, I will play this. I don't know. So I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I'll see you in a future video.